Hey, what's up? Hello, my name is Alexis and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be sharing my top 5 tips for how I stay organized in college. If you are new to my channel, my name is Alexis and I am a current senior at the University of South Florida. This is actually my last semester of college and I'm so excited, and I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every single Wednesday. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the 5 tips. Tip number 1 is to use a planning system. I personally and recently have started using Notion and it is just amazing. I can use it for multiple things even outside of college, and I can use it on my laptop as well as on my phone and even my iPad. If you haven't heard of Notion at all, I would highly suggest doing some research on it and considering it because I think it is just amazing. But of course there are so many different ways of having a planning system. You could have a physical planner, you could use a calendar, whether that be through Canvas itself or Google Calendar. There are also so many different apps and just services out there, but I would highly suggest having a planning system. You may think to yourself that, oh, I'll remember to do that, or I'll get that in a little bit, but it just really helps to put it down and just have it and see it right in front of you. For my planning system on Notion, I have a weekly spread on my main dashboard that I update every Sunday or Monday, and I use the to-do list feature to physically be able to check off the list or check off the thing that I have done. I list things like my classes and when I should start doing my assignment as well as when that assignment is due. I also have other tasks listed on here, such as personal stuff and internship work, which just keeps my life in general organized because I do tend to forget to do things throughout the week. I really do enjoy having a digital to-do list. It has made my life so much easier because I can just always go back and edit things and change it and completely move one task to another day or another week. It's just so much easier to edit and organize. Tip number 2 will be to take digital notes. I also use Notion to take my notes. I have gone into more in detail about this in my how I prepare for a new semester video, which I'll have linked somewhere on the screen. But basically I have a whole different section for my school stuff, and within that school page I have a different section for each of my classes, and then inside each of those classes is where I make another page for my notes. It's very complicated to explain, but it's easier whenever you see it. For me personally, digital notes are just easier. For one, I type much faster than I can write. 2, I can actually read my notes at a later time because I'm not writing chicken scratch trying to keep up with the presentation in class. And 3, which is the best part, is the Command F feature, or just the search feature in general if you don't have a Mac. You can just type in a word and it'll take you right to where those words are on the page, and it's so much easier to find specifically what I'm looking for rather than having to go through my physical notes and scanning every single line for a specific word. Tip number 3 would be to always refer back to the syllabus / always pay attention to announcements in your class. So if you didn't know, but I'm sure everyone does know, is that the syllabus is basically the guide for your entire semester. I always refer back to this to find out what's the best way to refer to each specific professor. I look to see what is upcoming in the class because at the end, typically at the end of the syllabus, there is a whole schedule for the entire semester for that class. And the second part to this is also pay attention to class announcements. And this mostly applies if your school uses Canvas, which I'm sure a lot of schools use because I've never ever heard of anyone else using something else. But the class announcements in the syllabus are the 2 main ways that your professor is trying to communicate to you besides, being in class. And oftentimes, very often, students never refer back to these syllabus or the announcements, and then they'll go ahead into the group chat and ask like these obnoxious questions that have been answered like 20 times throughout the whole entire semester. So just don't be that person, please. I promise these 2 things will be very helpful throughout your entire college semester. Tip number 4 would be to have a schedule. Having a schedule is just so helpful in keeping yourself together. I think it's really important in the first couple of weeks of a new semester to kind of get into a schedule, try to find a routine that works best for you, because this will be super helpful towards the middle and end of the semester when you just don't want to deal with anything anymore and you're just completely over it like I am. I am currently facing senioritis. Everyone in my classes are facing it and we're just like, when is this over? So this schedule doesn't have to be a strict schedule, and you shouldn't go and try to follow someone else's schedule. You should really try to find your own and figure out how everything works for yourself. You don't have to do something crazy like waking up at 6 or 7 a.m. every single day if you're not used to that or if your body does not want to do that. When I say have a schedule, I mean just trying to find a way to keep yourself on task and being productive when you need to be productive to get those assignments done. For example, instead of going straight home after a class, try to find an area in the campus where you can do some homework, like the library, because you're already in that mindset of learning and being in class that you can go ahead and try to do some homework and not be distracted by 20 million things when you're at home. So like for me, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I only have one morning class, and I try to do that when I can unless I have work or something else that is stopping me from doing that. But see, with that example as well, it's not a strict schedule, it's just a mindset, a routine that I would like to follow that I know will be helpful to me. And lastly, tip number 5 is to practice self-care. It is so important to take care of yourself and put your physical and mental health first. I don't want to come off as rude or insensitive, but you really need to be in the right mindset, in the right health in order to reach your expectations and succeed in your own regards in college. Self-care can literally be anything that prioritizes your specific mental and physical health, which is completely different for everyone. I have multiple videos on my channel doing some self-care days, and everyone's self-care days that I've watched are completely different from mine. So don't feel bad that you're not doing the specific task that another person does during their self-care day. Self-care could be exercise, it could be sleeping in, it could be reading, it could be meditation, it can be playing video games, taking a walk, literally anything. Taking care of yourself will help you out the most in not only your college career but also your entire life journey. But with that being said, those are my top 5 tips for how I stay organized in college, and hopefully it helps you out as well. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and also subscribe if you're new.